Hey, what's up guys? It's Matt from RC Overload here, and today I'm just going to talk a little bit about some modifications I've done to the Traxxas Revo 3.3 that's behind me here. I haven't done a heck of a lot to it. I've only done a couple little modifications, and since this is part of the build, an ongoing build with this thing, I just figured I'd make a quick little video here, talk about a few things. So, yesterday, I went down to the hobby store, as I usually always do, and end up spending more than I probably should. I spotted a clutch kit for the Traxxas 3.3 motor, and it's aluminum, 2-stage, made by HB Racing. You guys can see that, if I can get the focus here. I'll put the information for it down below. Granted, it says T-maxx on it, but the T-maxx, the Revo, all of them with the 3.3 motor, it's all the same. The flywheel setup is all the same on it. So, it works. I have a picture I will post up right here, as you guys can see. But it's shiny, it's cool. It should allow for a quicker engagement, quicker acceleration, much better grab, more power out of the truck. Just a little bit, not a heck of a lot. I don't have a 3-stage in there or anything like that. But the stock one was starting to wear out significantly. I wasn't really getting the power or the grab that I wanted out of it. And, you know, it was cheap enough, so I figured I'd pick one up for it. So, on top of that, which led into a couple other things. Also picked up a new battery for the receivers and everything in here. The other one was starting to corrode, wasn't holding a charge, so it was time to, you know, replace it. As you guys know, if you're following this build, I bought this truck earlier this year, and it had actually been sitting for 2 years, and I'd only been around a couple of times before that. So this battery is still stock from 2-3 years ago. So I just replaced it, same battery, nothing crazy over that. Charged it up, but the one thing I did notice is how much quicker the steering response is, how much quicker the wheels turn and everything. And I'll actually show you guys here real quick. Turn everything on. Okay, so if you guys can see here real quick, I mean the wheels turn much quicker. Before, with the other battery, it was more like, it's just a little bit slower. I'm trying to mimic it as best I could. It's a little bit slower than it was before. So, but on top of that, some new battery, new clutch kit on the motor. I cleaned up the clutch bell housing on the pinion gear, and you know, just taking a very, very fine sandpaper going along the inside where the clutch wouldn't spread open and engage, because with the stock one it creates a glaze on it, which kind of interferes with it a little bit. I will shut this off. So you won't get as good of a grab. So I cleaned that up, got that all going good, tightened up all the bolts on it, went through it, WD-40 and everything. But on top of that, I did 2 other little modifications to it, things I've been wanting to do. One of those modifications being actually improving the brake operation of it. Now, I still have the stock brake set up, if you guys, if you guys can see it in there, you know, I don't have the best lighting, I'm just using a small low light. It's stock setup. But the one thing that you can do is actually put in, excuse me. Hi, bud. Sorry about that, you guys. My kid just came in. But like I was saying, you can improve the brake operation on this thing by getting it to release off the brake disc, the pads. That's one of the biggest problems, is the pads like to stick to the brake disc, and they don't always like to come apart. So I found, after doing a little bit of research on YouTube, and there is multiple people that have done this, and this is where I've learned it from. So I'm not taking credit for it or anything like that. But if you take actually just a regular pen, you know, a little clicky pen, let me see if I can find one here. You know, just a normal little click pen. You pop it open. If I can get it to come out. The little spring that's on the pen tip, pop the spring off, cut it in half, and actually put it in between where the screw goes into the transmission that holds the pad on. If you put it in between the pads, What it'll do when you release off the brake is it'll actually push the pads back away off the disc. So not only do you prevent it from sticking to the brake disc and wearing out quicker, but you also prevent it from having any resistance in the car and slowing the car down. So as you guys can see here, sorry, post it up, the operation, you can actually see the pads coming back apart, and you can see the springs and where they are at. So that's one little modification I did to it to help overall improve it. The last one that I did, and it's always bugged me, I did this once before on my old original Revo 3.3 that I had a couple years ago, before I even started RC Overload. You guys can take a look. You can see there's no longer that, oh shoot, what is that stupid thing called? You guys are already telling me what it is, I know. The Opti drive unit. I have removed the Opti drive unit out of the truck. Here is my reason why. The Opti drive unit, its main purpose is when you go to shift from forward to reverse in the Traxxas Revo 3.3, the truck has to be completely stopped. RPMs have to be low, so there's no pressure put onto the transmission. If there's any pressure on the transmission, or if the car is still rolling, then it's not going to shift you from forward to reverse or reverse to forward. You have to be completely stopped and everything. Well, it acts up from time to time. I could be 100% stopped, no power. I could take the spur gear and move it around by hand, knowing that the engine is not spinning it or anything, but it'll bounce around from the vibration, which tweaks the sensor out, thinking that it's still moving so it won't shift you. So I simply cut the wire right off at where the sensor goes onto the transmission, right there. I still left it on there to cover up the hole, but I cut the wire off, pulled it right out. So now at this point, as long as I know that the truck is completely stopped and I have no throttle being applied to it and my tune settings are good, I can shift it forward to reverse, no problems, no questions asked. So that's a benefit to me. This is a bashing truck. This is not a racing truck to me. Yes, I want to get the utmost power that I can get out of it. I want it to go fast. I just want to have a lot of fun with it. But I'm not converting it to a four-wheel drive only. Four-wheel drive, excuse me. Front wheel, forward only conversion. I'm not doing that. I'd like to still have that two-speed transmission. I like that, that coolness of being able to shift gears. As well as being able to reverse the truck. So, those are just a couple of quick little modifications I have made to it. I'm adding this to the build series video. That's pretty much it for what I've done besides just going through the truck, cleaning it up. The interesting part, and I know some people might bash me for this, and it's simply I've just been lazy and I just have not done it. But it's fine because I'm going to do it over this winter, and until then, I'm just going to keep running the truck the way it is. The shock fluids and the differential fluids are still the stock fluids from when the car was still first purchased. When I talked to the original owner of this truck, he had never done anything to it. He just ran it a bunch of times and whatnot. Didn't even put any after-run oil or WD-40 in the motor. So when I got it and I tore it down, I didn't end up actually replacing those fluids because I didn't have the stuff for it at the time. And so I just figured I'd do it later on. Well, now the winter's coming, so I'm going to tear it back down again, change out those fluids, and come the next time, next spring or whatever, depending on when I use it, I could use it over the winter, it'll be running even better. So, and I'm going to fine-tune the suspension, fine-tune the differentials and everything, so I can get the utmost power and speed and everything that I can get out of this truck. Again, this is just a bashing truck to have fun, jump it, do donuts, drift with it and whatnot. So I'm not looking to race or anything like that. But you'll see some modifications that are similar to race characteristics out of it. So there you go. That's my quick little video, sorta, not really, but anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. We got some really cool build videos coming soon. I got the Axle Yeti, which you guys can see. I got some parts starting to come in for it. So everything else is kind of, give you a quick glimpse. There's a whole bunch of parts here stacked on top of each other. That's parts are starting to come in for the Yeti now, and the Jeep's got some more work to it, and the Revo's getting some more stuff done to it. So, and then I got other builds coming this winter. So this winter's gonna be a huge build series set of videos. We'll do some more driving around and stuff, but a lot of it's gonna be build. So anyways, you guys, thanks for watching. Maybe you guys learned a couple of things if you got a Traxxas Revo and you want to do a couple little modifications to it. Simple stuff, clutch kit, brakes, and just keeping up with the maintenance. Alright guys, so until next time, I will see you later. See you guys.